You know, everyone asks me why I moved back after 4 years in the capital. And honestly, it wasn't because I didn't like it there. I actually loved living in the city. There were just so many amazing cafes, and the food, oh my goodness, the food! Plus, there was always something new to see or do. It truly felt like a vibrant place. I realized I was constantly surviving, not really living. The traffic, the noise, the pollution, the crowds, it was too much. Even on quiet days, I'd come home completely drained. I was always rushing, always watching the clock, and somehow never had enough time. That's when I started dreaming of something different: fresh air, quiet mornings, being closer to my family, a lower cost of living. It sounded perfect.
So after 4 years, I decided to move back home. I honestly thought everything would immediately feel easier, like I could finally breathe again. But it wasn't as simple as I expected. The first thing I noticed was how much convenience I had taken for granted. There were no delivery apps, fewer cafes and restaurants, fewer shops, and most places closed pretty early. Sometimes I want to grab a coffee in the evening or order food after a long day, and then I remember that's just not how things work here. It sounds like a small thing, but after living in the city for years, you really get used to that lifestyle. Still, the hard part wasn't losing the conveniences, it was people's reaction. In Vietnam, if you study in Hanoi, people usually expect you to stay there, build your career, and keep moving forward. So when I came back to my hometown, a lot of people didn't understand. Some asked me directly, "You studied in Hanoi, so why did you come back?" Others never asked, but I could still feel the question in the way they looked at me. For a while, I kept wondering if I had made the wrong decision. The funny thing is, moving back home almost felt like moving somewhere completely new. Everything looked familiar, but my life was totally different. Most of my friends were still living in Hanoi, and I really missed those spontaneous coffee dates, weekend dinner, or just having someone nearby to hang out with. There were days when I felt surprisingly lonely, even though I was back in the place where I grew up. But little by little, I started building a new routine. I enjoy slower mornings, spent more time with my family, started cooking more, working out more, and I finally had time to do things I always said I wanted to do. Looking back, I don't think moving home solved all my problems. I still miss the city sometimes. I miss the convenience, the energy, and being close to my friends. But I don't miss feeling exhausted all the time. I've realized that no place is perfect. City give you opportunity, while small town give you space to breathe. Every place asks you to give up something in return for what it gives you. And maybe growing up isn't about finding the perfect place to live. Maybe it's about figuring out what kind of life you actually want and what you're willing to trade for it.
Welcome back home, or I guess I should say, welcome to my home.
place in Nancy. This is my sky garden.
One of my favorite places at home is our rooftop garden. My dad built it a few years ago, and now it's filled with vegetables and a few fruit trees. From up here, I can see almost everything around me: the houses, the school nearby, and the rice fields stretching into the distance. It always reminds me how different life feels here compared to the city. My dad grows most of the vegetables using a hydroponic system, and he always jokes that homegrown vegetables taste so much better. Honestly, I think he's right. These days, I rarely buy vegetables from the market anymore. Whenever I need some, I just come upstairs and pick whatever is ready. I'm also thinking about planting more flowers up here because I think it would make this space even more beautiful. Watching everything grow, from tiny seedlings into healthy plants, is surprisingly satisfying. It reminds me that growth takes time and not everything needs to happen so quickly. Whenever I feel stressed or overwhelmed, I often come up here for a while. I water the plants, look out over the fields, and somehow my mind always feels a little quieter afterwards. It's such a simple place, but it's become my favorite little escape. It's almost dinner time, so I'm going to make something simple today. fried tofu, stir-fried beef, and boiled water spinach. These are the kinds of dishes I grew up eating. And honestly, they're probably the only things I know how to cook without watching a recipe every 5 minutes. I'm not a very good cook. I never really learned when I was younger because whenever I was home, my mom always cooked for everyone. Then I moved to Hanoi for university, and life became so busy that I mostly ate out or ordered food. It was faster, easier, and honestly, cooking for one never felt worth the effort. After moving back home, I started spending more time in the kitchen, not because I suddenly became passionate about cooking, but because I wanted to learn the recipes my mom has been making for our family for years. Most of them are actually really simple. She never measures anything, she just adds a little bit of this, a little bit of that, tastes it once, and somehow it's always perfect. Every time I ask her how much seasoning to use, her answer is always just enough. I'm still trying to figure out what just enough means. Sometimes she'll stand next to me while I'm cooking and quietly tell me what to do. Other times she'll just watch and laugh when I do something the slow or complicated way. I think she's realized I'm not exactly a natural in the kitchen, but I don't mind because I know one day I'll probably look back and miss these moments. The funny thing is, I used to think cooking was just another chore, something you had to do because you needed to eat, but now I realize it's also a way people take care of each other. When I was living in the city, I never thought much about who made my meals. I would order food with a few taps on my phone, eat while working, and move on with my day. It was convenient, but it also felt forgettable. Now dinner feels different. The vegetables usually come from our rooftop garden. My dad grows them himself, so before cooking, I often go upstairs to pick whatever is ready. My mom prepares the meat, I help cook a few dishes, and then we'll sit down together. Nothing fancy, just homemade food. Somehow it always tastes better than eating alone. I think one of the happiest parts of moving back home isn't the slower pace or the fresh air. It's being able to have dinner with my family almost every day again. We don't always have long conversations. Sometimes we just eat quietly. Sometimes we talk about random things that happened during the day. Those moments seem so ordinary that it's easy to overlook them. But after living away from home for 4 years, I've realized they're actually pretty special. I still have a lot to learn, both in cooking and in life. Maybe one day I'll be able to cook as naturally as my mom does. For now, I'm happy just learning one simple meal at a time.